And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, I'm a real big fan of Escape, The Curse of the Temple, this adventure game in which you need to get out of the temple with a 10-minute game. It's scary as all get out. You're running for the exit, rolling dice as quickly as you can. And there's several expansions out for it. This is the third big box one. This is Traps, which has in it, shockingly, traps and time traps. This adds some more tiles. It has 2 modules that you can throw into the base game. Let's take a look at them. So this expansion comes with 2 modules, trap tiles and time tiles. Trap chambers and time chambers, and I guess you could use both, but you're probably better off just using one at a time. So you'll shuffle each pile and take 2, 3, or 4 from that pile and shuffle them into the deck to use them. So let's talk about trap tiles first. Now trap tiles are when you have a trap tile and you find the trap tile, you are stuck in that trap tile until something happens. Now some of them are maybe worse than others. This one here, let's show how this one works. Let's say we're going through this like this, and this tile is going to move clockwise until it finds a spot that it can attach to in the temple. In this case, there is no spot to find it to, so the person is stuck until one is found. Maybe this was here, then this would slide over like that, because the orientation of the tile itself doesn't change. This one here will immediately summon everybody else to that tile. Now later on you can go there and pay 3 keys to summon people. You can use this one to your advantage, but initially it can be kind of a pain. These traps, the cliff, this one, and this one here, require you to roll 3 keys and 3 torches to get off those. However, the problem with these is you are stuck there till you do that, and only you can roll those keys. No one else can do that. They can come there and they can roll gold symbols to free up your black dice if you're trapped and don't have enough dice, but you are the one who's going to have to climb back up the cliff. And then finally this one here, when you go into this room, you slide down the slide and you can't go back up the slide, so you're going to have to find a way out another way. This one's not too terribly dreadful, but it is cool. It's a one-way door, and if the buzzer sounds right when you find it, then you can be in some serious trouble. So those are the trap tiles. Now the time tiles are going to use 2 different timers. We have a 30-second timer and a minute timer. And when you find one of these tiles, you need to put the timer on it, and different things will happen. Now these tiles here, with a 30-second timer, these are prohibition tiles, and you just put the timer on that, and the time starts running out, and during the first 30 seconds here, you cannot use the gems. And then during the next 30 seconds, when it runs out, you flip it to the next ones, you cannot use the golden sides of the dice. And so there's different kinds of restrictions that you'll have. Sometimes you can't even go into a new area with these tiles. So there's 4 different of these tiles that will show up. With the blue timer, and these are even worse, this one here, everyone has to get to this room. If they don't, by the time the timer runs out, everyone loses a die. Here, everyone has to get to this room and get 7 torches by the time the timer runs out, or you will lose a total of 2 dice. Here, the timer is going to be knocked down. Oh, it doesn't even flip. It's just going to, you have 1 minute to get 3 tasks done, 5 torches, then 4 keys, then run 3 times. And each one of these, if you don't succeed, you will lose the following things. This one's even worse in my opinion. You're going to lose 3 dice, then 2 dice, and then 1 dice total. And those are permanently from the game. And that's basically what these expansions add. Now, if there's one thing that Escape has, it's stress. Some people, some of my kids included, will not even play the game because of the high level of stress. Escape! And everyone's running and rolling dice and doing this and trying to get out as quickly as they possibly can. Yeah, this makes it worse. Now, traps are bad, but I think traps are not so horrific. They add a good thematic flavor. Oh, you fell off the cliff. Oh, you're in this moving room. And they're cool. But those timed ones, that's a timer within a timer. The game's already being timed. And now you're like, oh, we got to get over here and get this done in the middle of everything else. I would highly recommend not putting 4 of the time tiles in your deck at the beginning. In fact, I would highly recommend not putting both these in if you get stressed out too easily. Now, I will say, these don't make the game impossible. I've beaten it with both of them, although the timers, I think, are definitely more difficult than the traps. But they do both bring a cool theme kind of thing. I don't know. It's really neat to have these tiles, and they're easy to distinguish. They're not hard to figure out what they do when they show up. There's like I said, this is a third module for escape. I wouldn't be throwing all these modules in at one time, but I have a lot of different options now to play when I'm trying escape, and I think that this one may be my favorite one yet, just because of the high, well, I keep saying the same word over again, and also I'll say cinematic flair to it, and that is traps. If you like escape, you're going to like this. Dice Tower Judgment, excellent!
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door!